Have you ever noticed that some of the most powerful management ideas are also the simplest? Well, today, we're going to dig into a legendary philosophy that has helped tons of leaders get absolutely incredible results by doing less, not more. We're going to explore why a method that just takes a few minutes a day can completely transform performance. We're always told that leadership is this super complex thing, right? Full of intricate systems and constant oversight. But this side asks a really powerful question. What if that's all just wrong? What if the key to unlocking motivation and real performance is actually hiding in plain sight, in a method so simple you can explain it in a couple of minutes? So our story here kicks off with a young professional who's on a mission. See, he's already witnessed the power of the one-minute manager system. He's seen the goals, the praisings, all of it. He knows that it works. But to really make it his own, he needs to get to the bottom of why it works. And this is such a critical point for anyone who's leading a team. I mean, it's one thing to just copy a technique, but it's another thing entirely to really master it, because you get the psychology behind it. Understanding that why is what turns a simple management trick into a true leadership philosophy. To explain this why, the manager uses this absolutely brilliant analogy that gets right to the heart of a huge problem in most workplaces. He calls it bowling in the dark. Just think about it for a second. Have you ever seen someone who seems totally checked out at their desk, but then after 5 p.m. they're completely energized by their hobby? The manager in our story sees this exact thing when he spots his so-called problem employees having a blast at a bowling alley. So what's the secret ingredient they have at the alley that's missing at the office? And boom, there it is, the light bulb moment. This quote says it all. At work, most people are just bowling in the dark. They don't know where the pins are, and if you can't see the target, what's the point of even rolling the ball? Who would stay motivated doing that? This slide just lays it out perfectly. At the bowling alley, it's simple. The target is clear, the feedback is instant. You know right away if you got a strike. That's what's so exciting. But in a lot of offices, it's like there's a giant sheet covering the pins. You put in all this effort, you hear a little noise in the distance, but you have no idea what you actually accomplished. The results? Total confusion and demotivation. Okay, so this brings up a huge question. If clarity is so obviously the key, why on earth would managers intentionally keep the pins hidden? Why would they build a system that's literally designed to confuse people? Well, the answer? It's a little simple. The manager actually has a name for this whole approach. NIASOB. It stands for Now I Have You, well, you can fill in the blank. It's a nasty little trap where managers deliberately keep goals vague, just waiting for people to mess up so they can jump on it. And this dysfunctional process is way more common than you'd think. It starts with the manager just assuming you should magically know what to do. They don't say anything, they don't clarify, they just let you work in the dark. Then, months later, during your performance review, they pull out this long list of all the times you missed the invisible target. So what's the twisted logic here? A lot of the time it comes down to this idea of the normal distribution curve or the bell curve. A lot of companies basically force their managers to rank their teams this way. You gotta have a few winners, a few losers, and a bunch of people in the middle. If everybody's a winner, the manager might look like they're too soft. So it creates this bizarre incentive to keep goals fuzzy, just to make sure there will always be someone to put at the bottom. So that's the trap, a system built to demotivate people with unclear expectations. But what if we just flip that whole thing on its head? The solution is actually incredibly simple, and it's so powerful. It's all about providing the one thing that truly, truly drives performance. Let's just get right to it. The number one motivator for people is not a bigger paycheck. It's not the fear of getting in trouble. It's feedback. Just simple, clear, immediate feedback on how you're doing. It's knowing exactly how many pins you knocked down right after you've rolled the ball. And this quote is really the heart of the entire philosophy. Feedback isn't just something you get once a year in a review. It's the fuel that high performers run on. It's what lets us adjust our aim, improve, and get that satisfaction of knowing we're hitting the mark. And yet, this is where we see the great irony in most companies. They spend this huge chunk of their budget, maybe 50 to 70%, on salaries. But when it comes to actually training and developing their people, they spend almost nothing. The priorities are just completely backward. I mean, the numbers here really do speak for themselves. It's wild to think that most companies spend more money on maintaining their physical buildings than on developing the brains and talent of the people who actually create all the value inside them. It's so clear that investing in people, starting with clear feedback, is the smartest move a business can make. This all leads us to the manager's fundamental belief about people. He just doesn't buy into this fixed idea of winners and losers. Instead, he believes in potential, and he sees his job as simply unlocking it. Man, this is such a powerful way to look at the world, isn't it? It challenges us to look past someone's current performance and see the potential winner inside. And this isn't just some feel-good, optimistic idea. It's a really practical approach to management that's all about development, not just judgment. So this leaves every manager with three basic choices. One, you can try to hire people who are already winners, but that's tough and they cost a lot of money. Two, you can hire people with potential and actually invest the time to train and develop them. And, well, if you're not willing to do either of those, the manager says your only strategy left is prayer. So what's the tool that makes it all happen? The absolute foundation for turning that potential into real performance is 1-minute goal setting. It all starts right here. This is how you finally take that sheet off the pins and let people see the target. And the process itself is just beautifully simple. First, you agree on the goals, and you write them down on a single sheet of paper. And this is key. You use the 80-20 rule. You only focus on the handful of key responsibilities that deliver most of the results. Then you just take a minute every now and then to look at that paper and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now matching my goals? And in the end, it all comes back to this one powerful idea. Managing people doesn't have to be complicated or take up all your time, as long as you focus on what really matters. Investing just a few clear, focused minutes in your people, setting goals, giving feedback, is the single highest impact thing a leader can do. So, as we wrap this up, I want you to think about your own team, or your colleagues, or even just yourself. Who are the potential winners around you, just waiting for a chance to prove it? And, more importantly, have you done the simple, powerful work of making sure they can actually see the pins?